Matchday 3 review edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code PLGP to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And make sure to enter the free roll football contest. Up to $3,500 in prizes up for grabs. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter today. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, the 2nd of September. We are here to have a little review of the Premier League action from match day 3. We're also just going to have some general Premier League chit-chat, maybe pick out some futures that we like for further down the road, having watched a few games. Effectively, because there's absolutely bugger all else to bet on this week until we get into the international picks later in the week. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, why did he leave his glasses with Matthews? Why did he do it, Baz? Why? It's a question on everybody's lips.
Oh, Malcolm, are we? Unless he turns up back at that pub and Matthews can ask the question. But yeah, there was a lot of disappointment from a lot of people about that story.
It's the story that's got the nation talking, Barry. Everywhere I went, I was out yesterday watching the match in town. People coming up to us or like shouting across the street, "Oh, Mala, love the glasses story." Like people just chatting about it. I could see people like texting each other about it, all sorts of stuff. It was on everyone's lips. Look at Callum hasn't stopped thinking about it, he says. Unbelievable. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, Baz, what's happening? Good weekend?
Not bad. I'm a little bit nervous about this show because I have a bit of a dodgy stomach. So it's questionable. Yes. It's questionable as to whether I'll make it through the full 40 minutes without having to make a quick exit. Like,
overall, under half a shite. Who are we going?
It seems to have settled at the moment, but I've never been off the toilet all day today. Like,
lovely, Barry. You have a couple of spoonfuls of gravy granules, Baz, just to thicken it up a bit. Should get you through the next 45 minutes. That's what I would do. I'm not a doctor, but I don't see why not.
But other than that, I'm all good. All right weekend, wasn't it, really? Another one where nothing massively surprised anyone, did it, in the results? The Premier League's very predictable these days. Why we should be winning fortunes, Malcolm. It all looks easy afterwards.
Yeah, to be fair, we'll get to my picks in a minute, talking about winning fortunes. There was lots of things to loll at this weekend, Baz. We could have ran a poll as to, did you loll at Rice? Did you loll at Everton? Did you loll at Man United? Or did you loll at Tottenham the most? What was the biggest loll? Because it was quite hard. We were spoiled for choice, Baz, on the lolling front.
I mean, I've got no love for Liverpool, but I don't mind Liverpool going and spanking Man United. It would have been fine if they'd got 5 or 6 for me. The Rice one probably most. Well, no, it's got to be Everton, hasn't it? The biggest comeback in Premier League history in terms of the timing. No team's ever come back from 2 goals in the 87th minute. It was the latest comeback ever in the Premier League. So yeah, there was lots of funny moments though. There wasn't really much to laugh about with Spurs, was there? They just weren't very good.
Kind of. It was quite Spursy, wasn't it?
Well, that's why there wasn't really anything out of the ordinary about it. I mean, we'll come to it in a bit, but a lot of people say Newcastle were very lucky. I just don't think Spurs were very good. But I'm sure, as I say,
yeah,
sure
yeah, right. We'll get to all that in a bit, because we've got It is an international break. We've got sort of half an hour to let it breathe. So basically, we're going to do an extended eye catchers and catch up with as many teams as we can and see what we think. Callum was first in the chat. Callum's got indigestion from potato waffles. Bob lives on potato waffles. That's a nice old school freezer tea. The Backus family, welcome along. Andy Williams, Michael says there's nothing funny about the Everton game. Lloydo's winning the league. Fair enough. Happy with that. Steve Gregory, welcome as well. I think that's a new name on me. Maybe is it? Or maybe I'm just forgetful. Anyway, Steve, nice to have you here. I mean, at this point, Barry, I just need to confirm. Do you want me to go through all my winning picks now? What we're going to do is separate hour-long podcast just to cover my winners. I mean, or even maybe we could release a pamphlet detailing them. I mean, it's up to you. What do you reckon?
I mean, you had some big highlights this week. It was good. I think certainly probably our best week of the league so far. For me, 5 and 5, all right. But the ladder hit again. 100% winning ladders, Malcolm.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, you hit the big ones this week, didn't you? Which was nice.
Well, it was only 6 and 10. It was about 13 units back, which was good. I said I needed some luck. And even Matt, actually, I thought the ones I lost, there's some really good highlights in the picks that I lost, which we'll go through. But the Brentford Southampton, both my shot props in the first 2 games, I said I wasn't thrilled about. But Arsenal and Brighton shots on target went way over. The Brentford Southampton shots I gave out at 27.5 came in at 38, which was absolutely huge. And we had said the week before that Forest had 25 shots against Southampton. So that might be a future angle in, like, before someone catches up. So yeah, 6 out of 10, both those props hit. The 1-1 draw of the week, although Andy Williams was all over the draws every game last week, he kept saying draw. There was 4 1-1 draws, so I'd have been disappointed not to hit one of them. That hit 13-2. Brian and Boomo was my scorer, 11-2, plus 550 first. Corned beef pie, Barry, tuck in, get your knife and fork out, bottle of brown sauce. Man City, Villa and Liverpool, 7-2, plus 350. The lock, since we started doing it, 2 out of 2, Aston Villa and Barry. Keep rolling on. Rolling on. So, £27.82, Barry, is now the answer. So, in little over 3 weeks, Barry, I've managed to turn £30 into £27.82. So what's not to like about that? £2.18 down. I've got one little update on the occasional series, Barry. It's an occasional series of who can fuck off. James Maddison can fuck off. There you go. That series might be back further down the line. But my losing highlights, Baz, Everton. So when Everton were 2-0 up, I was so pleased with myself sitting here, dead smug, because all you knobheads in the chat and everything, no one wanted anything to do with Everton, and I knew better than everybody. 2-0, 7-4. But what made it worse was I doubled them up with Aston Villa. I did a little money line parlay, around about 5-1. But Baz, I had it on Sky Bet and not 365. Now, if I'd had it on 365, I'd have got paid out, wouldn't I? So I felt like I lost twice. Well, in fact, I felt like I lost 3 times because I lost. I then lost the ability to gloat over all you lot tonight, and I didn't actually win the money I should have won in the first place. So that was unbelievable, that one. And I think that was about my weekend covered, Baz. So yeah, absolutely delighted. It was a long time coming, week 3 of the season, but yeah, did loads of good stuff. You highlights or lowlights?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking your audio sounds terrible for me. You're breaking up all the way through, but people in the chat are saying they can hear you fine. So I'm assuming it must be something
Right.
at my end. But as long as everybody else can hear it fine, that's all good. Highlights was obviously the ladder. Semenyo, shots on target. Sorry, not shots on target, just shots. Over 2.5, 5-6. Over 3.5, 2-1. Over 4.5, 9-2. All came in nicely. The Bournemouth team total was an obvious one, wasn't it? Bournemouth to score twice was never in doubt. Handicaps took Brighton on the handicap plus 1.5. That was easy enough. Man City handicap, easy again. And Villa and Liverpool just looked nice, easy picks in the end. Although Villa made it a bit of a sweat towards the end. The Liverpool one, what a price that turned out to be in the end. And the ones that was very similar to last week, the ones I missed, didn't miss by much. So I had Brentford game. I fancied Brentford, but I went with both teams to score no. And Southampton scored in the 95th minute, so that let me down. I was 1 goal away. Ipswich Fulham, I had the over 2.5, 1 goal away. Chelsea Palace, I had both to score and one over 2.5. So again, 1 goal. I needed another goal in Newcastle Spurs, and Forest win was the other one. So everyone that lost, there was 1 goal in it. There was close again. So I did feel like I was on the right track on everything, really. Happy enough with where I ended up. My ACCAs weren't very good because I did take goals and hit on a couple of those 1-1s, unfortunately. But overall, all right weekend and good to keep the ladders going.
Yeah, it was nice to get a winning weekend in the book before this break, because I think if I'd lost 3 on a row going into the break, bars, I'd have the fear when we came back for week 4. Oh, actually, a YouTube short I put out on Saturday in the Championship, Oxford at a massive price, and West Brom double bubble as well. So if you're not in the YouTube shorts, I mean, what are you doing? Winners been really good over there on the YouTube. Sean and Ryan are back, the Sports Gambling Podcast main feed, picking every NFL game against the spread, like we've done since 2011. And don't forget to enter the free roll football contest. Sign up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. $3,500 in cash up for grabs there. Just before we come on, I put an 800 to 1 division winner on the NFL, all 8 divisions, Barry. I had a pound free bet, so 800 to 1 there. That's on. Looking forward to that. So what we normally we go through the eye catchers, just the odd team that caught our eye, but we just thought we'd spend a little bit longer and cover nearly all of the teams really, and see if we could find either back up some bets in theories that we had pre-season, or find any new angles in from what we've seen in the first 3 weeks. So kind of split the groups up into the top lot, the top 6 or 7, then the middle lot, and then the relegation team. So that's just general chit-chat, general Monday night fireside chat. So if anyone's got any opinions, I know you're not shy, stick them in the chat. Underdog Fantasy gives you a chance to win 1,000 times your entry. NFL is back. Loads of picking specials to get you started. Use our code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. So, yeah, the top half then, well, the top of the table, Baz. I think a lot of the gone through a lot of the teams who are what we thought they were. Man City being a great example. They just haven't missed a beat. In actual fact, it's sometimes this stage of the season where City struggle a little bit, and they just haven't. They've absolutely hit the ground running. I think Arsenal the same. Arsenal are what we thought they were. Is that they've got finer margins than City. They're a very, very good team, but their margin for error is small. Like, you never see Man City lose momentum in a game. In fact, I think I've seen it once when Newcastle had them on tours for about 20 minutes 2 years ago. Like, when West Ham equalised, Man City just went again and assumed control almost immediately. Arsenal can lose momentum. They lost momentum against Villa and Brighton. And we've seen Tottenham when they went to Leicester. They battered them. And then Tottenham lost momentum. And all of a sudden, Leicester wrestled a bit of control back. Man City don't seem to do that. And Arsenal can. So their margin for error is much finer than Man City. They've already missed a beat and dropped 2 points at the weekend. I think the ones that stand out are Liverpool. Now, the obvious thing to say is they've played 3 bad teams, which is absolutely true. But they could only beat the teams they put in front of them. Arne Slot has been really good. He talks well. Again, the key with Slot is because you could make a Klopp comparison here. is that it's really easy not to be a bell end when you're winning, which is what he's done. So he's come across really, really well. That interview he gave yesterday, he said more in that 90-second interview than fucking Eric Ten Hag said in 3 years.
Don't you start tossing him off over that as well, Malcolm? But absolutely.
But it's true,
What
just
on
would
my
be.
nerves. Like, everyone was making out like it was some sort of legend because he came out with his tactical plan to beat Man United. It was just a bloke doing his job. That's what you expect him to do, come up with a plan.
Yeah, but that's right. No, we all say, but that I've heard Eddie Howe do it, and other people do it, but why not? Like, but in comparison to Ten Hag, my point is.
No, but if you went on Twitter yesterday, though, it was like he was the first person to have ever done it. That was what annoyed me. But you're right. In comparison to Ten Hag, but anybody looks better than Ten Hag if you're putting the two together. I don't mind Slot. I don't get me wrong. I've softened on Liverpool a little bit because so far Slot hasn't done anything to annoy the shit out of me. But you're right. Wait till something goes against him, and then we'll judge him. But yeah, I wasn't having all that. But the thing is, Klopp was like that when he first came in. Klopp was a likeable bloke when he first came into Liverpool, wasn't he? I had nothing against Klopp at all until he started becoming turned into a right. I mean, you've jumped straight into like looking at the league. So we haven't even talked about the games, Malcolm. I thought we'd at least cover some of the laughable moments from the weekend. I'm a bit disappointed you've skipped over that. I mean, I wanted to talk about the Declan Rice for a start. What was your opinion on it?
Get the fucker off. He should have been off for that tackle in the first place. It was a red. Get him off.
The thing that annoyed me was the amount of people who are supposedly the sort of reasonable people saying it was the worst red card decision they've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, for a start, it wasn't a red card decision. It was a yellow card decision.
Yeah.
Did he delay the restart? Yes, he did. Is that a yellow card offence? Yes, it is. Has he got a yellow card already? Yes. Get off. Simple as that. It was just ridiculous. You can argue about the stuff that went on earlier in the game that didn't get punished, but that's a completely separate thing. That doesn't change the fact Declan Rice deserved a red card because he knew exactly what he was doing. So yeah, I'm not having that. That was ridiculous. We had Gordon sent off for a similar thing last year, didn't we? And late on in the season, second yellow, kicking the ball away. There's no comeback from it. I think even when you listen to Declan Rice, I don't even think he was that. Like, I don't think he disagreed with it that much. He sort of took it on the chin. It was Arteta who obviously thought it was a disgrace. It wasn't a disgrace this time, was it? It was amazing. He was
amazing this time.
Amazed, but yeah, it was a red card. It certainly wasn't the worst red card decision I've ever seen. That's a ridiculous statement. Not having that.
No, I agree. There was a few little bits and bobs of refereeing, but it just seemed it was like a old school weekend of refereeing where they made some mistakes. A couple of refs made a couple of mistakes, and you get on with it, and that was it. But obviously, that's impossible nowadays because you then get an Arsenal fan making a 3-minute montage of everyone who's delayed the restart of a game. Like, see, Joe Linton did it yesterday, picked the ball up and walked off with it when he was on a yellow.
Yeah,
but it's just a thing. Just get on with it, like. And the Arsenal fans have been ridiculous about it, but no more ridiculous than any other fan base. It's just one of those things.
No, they are more ridiculous at times. It's always worse when it's them, it seems. They're still talking about Joe Linton not committing a foul last season against us, man. But get him off. But I would say on the subject of refereeing, once again, I think 3 weeks in, we've barely seen any real VAR drama. Like, nothing. There's certainly been a lot less contentious decisions so far this season than we would have been talking about in the first 3 weeks last season. I mean, Newcastle should have had a penalty yesterday. VAR didn't even look at it; just moved on, carried on. But you know, we've moaned about how much VAR got involved last year, so we've got to sort of take that in this time where they seem to be using it a lot less.
Yeah, I got no problem with it at all, Baz. Do anything else you want to mention because you weren't happy with me going on there?
Well, we've got to talk about Man United, surely.
Oh yeah, go on then.
They're still shite, aren't they?
Absolute pony. Fuck me.
Nothing's changed. Like, and you talk about Ten Hag, like his excuse every time is, look, we need more time. Like, this team needs more time. He's had what, 2.5 years now. He spent £600 million. How much more time does like all these players need? How much more time does Rashford need to start playing well again? Honestly, I cannot believe his excuses every week. And like, Man United fans just get given false hope every season, because every season they'll make a couple of signings and everyone, they're all over Twitter are saying, this is it, we're back. Casemiro was going to be the game changer when he came. Højlund and Mount were going to change things last year. That was going to project them to the top of the league. That didn't happen. This year, they were all getting really excited about Mazraoui, De Ligt, Xerxes. That's changed nothing at all. Now, it'll be all right when Ugart comes in. Once he's in, that'll be it, Malcolm. They'll be back pushing the top four. None of it matters, because you've got Ten Hag there who hasn't improved a single one of them. They all go backwards the second they come into that squad. In terms of the players have signed, Mainoo's the only one who's an exception to it, who has improved in the time Ten Hag's been there. But honestly, how much time does he need? How much more money? 600 million he spent. Not having it. Rashford, shite. Garnacho, I'm not having Garnacho either. I don't rate him. I said it last year. I'm still saying it. I just think he's too inconsistent. Maybe if he played on the left, where he'd probably prefer to be, he might be better. But I don't think Garnacho will ever reach the heights some people think he will. But on the plus side, Malcolm, I did put out Ten Hag as the first manager to be sacked at 14-1 pre-season. And he's now 3-1 favourite. Joint favourite with Sean Dyche. Southampton next. If he doesn't beat them, that could be it.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it with Ten Hag. It's just everything he says is dull. We sat through it with Steve Bruce, Baz, and just come out and say something a bit more exciting, or say something that people want to hear.
Trying to claim they were the second best team in the league last week, based on the fact they've won more trophies than everyone but Man City. So based on the fact, because they've won 2 cups, an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup, that makes them the second best team in the UK, apparently, under Ten Hag, despite the fact they finished 8th in the league last year.
And we also watched under Bruce players getting worse, players just getting gradually worse. Every single player in that squad got worse, and that's what's happening. I've got no idea if they're any good or not, frankly, but I guarantee he's making them worse week on week on week. I mean, Casemiro is getting some stick in the chat. At this point, it's not really his fault.
It's just an old man.
You can't. He looks like Mr. Blobby. You know, the Mr. Blobby, the song that needs the Mr. Blobby music in the background, especially with that second goal where he's blobby around with his arms flapping. It's absolutely insane. The Morrison's butcher. I seen him today, Baz, on the trolleys. He was. He's on the trolleys. He's in the car park. He's not trusted anymore. What a knobhead he is. Xerxes couldn't find his arse with both hands. Who else do you want to slag off? Oh, no, I couldn't keep chickens. Oh, my God. If it's on target, it's in the goal. Like, he's absolutely... His positioning. And even our mate Goldbridge was on about, why is he always on his line when someone's having a shot from 12 yards? Because it makes the goal massive. Yeah, but I'm delighted. And then you see the old... the shot of the stands with Sir Alex, Sir Jim with his long pockets and short arms with his head in his hands. Dan Ashworth, a little rat sitting there with his little weasel face. Loved every last second of it, Baz. And you know what? We were in the pub after the Newcastle match. We were down in the Aiken side. And that first Liverpool goal goes in. And the whole pub goes up. Like, there's no question at all that Newcastle is just an anti-Man United city. Like, it wasn't 50-50. The whole fucking place went up. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I noted down was the Newcastle game. We didn't play particularly well again, did we?
No.
But as I said before, I think a lot of the narrative was that Newcastle had played bad. Spurs had battered us. We were lucky to come away with a win. I mean, they had a load of possession, Spurs, but what did they do with it? I remember Pope making one good save. One was heading for the top corner, but everything was from distance. The goal was an absolute gift from Dan Burn. We should have had another penalty, which didn't get given. I just thought Newcastle were actually quite resilient in defence. I thought we did we did limit them to shots from distance the whole game. And I think there is positives there. We've said about other teams already this season. Winning when you're not playing well is a good habit to have. Newcastle have sort of rode out a bit of a rough period. We've rode out a period without Fabian Shaw, who will now come back. Obviously, Tonali will feature more and more as the games go on. So I don't think it was as bad as everyone made out, really. I don't think Spurs really deserved much more. Because you can have all the possession in the world, but if you're not creating clear-cut chances, Newcastle had the better XG. Fuck them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just a couple of things on that. I think game week 3 last year, if you remember, Newcastle won, Liverpool 2, when we were 1-0 up with 3 minutes left, and everyone's crying, why can't we win ugly? 1 year on, we get that 2-1 win against Spurs. And then, actually, because I was all tired, I'd had a few beers, and you're watching the game, you're into it. I got home and watched Match of the Day 2, and if you watch that, Frank Lampard gave a really nice appraisal of what Eddie Howe had done. We've got a makeshift back four, and actually sometimes you have to sacrifice your attacking play to limit what they've got. And we took our medicine yesterday, had a game plan, and again, Howe's out-coached the opposition. Talk about Ten Hag not being able to know not being able to come up with a plan or anything. And Eddie Howe did that again yesterday. And I didn't notice that at the time. I just thought we were being a bit shit. But it turns out that not much is happening by accident at the top level. Yeah, completely agree with that, Baz. Hopefully better days ahead for Newcastle. 7 points when they played badly is much better. So, getting back to where we were. So it was Liverpool and Arsenal what we're talking about, Baz. Because I do think they have been excellent. Chelsea and Tottenham are exactly like we thought. Chelsea got no idea. I think Tottenham will do what they've done already. They've beat Everton 4-0. They've had a mad away draw where they should have won, and they've lost away from home. They're going to be up and down like a bride's nightie. Of the two teams, I think Chelsea have got a higher ceiling. So what I said last week about Maresca, if he can just fuck everybody else off and concentrate on that squad, I think they might be all right. They should have won yesterday. They made several very, very good chances. They've scored 6 at Wolves, and they weren't terrible against Man City. They were in that game until City got the second goal, and Chelsea made some decent chances. So there's a little bit of a ceiling there for Chelsea. I think they play for them. Champions League starts, I think, and then we've just covered Newcastle. And if you want to put Man United in that top 8, they're absolutely fucking useless. So, any bets from that sort of area in the table, Baz, that stood out to me? I've not seen enough out of Arsenal at 2-1 to make me want to back them. Liverpool at 9-2 seems like a decent bet. Although, say we have just caveated it. I think Liverpool are 2-1 without City. I can see Liverpool overhauling Arsenal. From what I've seen so far, so Liverpool are 2-1 without Manchester City, which means Liverpool can win, or they can finish second to Manchester City. And the other one is in the top 4. I don't want Spurs. Don't want Newcastle. We haven't played particularly well. Between Chelsea and Villa for a bet there in the top 4. Chelsea 15-8 plus 187. Villa at 4-1. I think either of those is reasonable. And the final one is Man U to finish in the bottom half at 4-1 because they're absolute gash. That was good on that, Baz. So they were just a few standouts from around the top part of the table.
Yeah, if you've got anything running in the background, Malcolm, your connection is awful, and other people are picking up on it now. So if you have got anything else that you can shut down, I would recommend doing it because you keep breaking up. Yeah, I mean, top of the table, I sort of referred back to a lot of my pre-season picks. I said Man City were a great price at 11-10 pre-season. They're still 11-10 now, despite 100% start. And as you say, sometimes it's the start of the season where they do drop the points. So I do think Man City 11-10 are still a very good price. I mean, you've put Liverpool up there at 9-2. I said pre-season at the time we had Arsenal 15-8. Liverpool were 7-1. And I said pre-season, I thought there was definitely more value in the Liverpool at 7-1 than there was on Arsenal at 15-8. And I would still say the same now. Arsenal have gone out slightly to 2-1, Liverpool at 9-2. I would rather be on Liverpool than Arsenal at this point, just from what we've seen over the 3 games. For me, I would still stick with City personally. But if you want to fade City, Liverpool are the team to do it. But you should have done it at 7s. Top scorer, Malcolm. Any thoughts? Who do you reckon is going to be top scorer this year?
The big lad up top for Man City looks quite handy, Baz.
He's all right,
He
isn't
seems to knows where the goal is. But Isaac's one closer to him. Alfie May's been on the target. You know, we put up Alfie May, Alexander Isak, each day double. Alfie May for Birmingham. May's doing all right, huh?
Yeah, I made a mistake.
You got any other thoughts there?
Made a mistake of asking you to talk again there. I can't hear a thing you're saying. Haaland 1 to 5 now for top scorer. As a bit bonkers. 7 from 3 games though. He's obviously going to walk away with that. 30. You can actually bet on the number of goals Haaland will get now. 30 or more goals for Haaland is 1 to 10. 35 or more goals is 1 to 2, and 45 or more, 7-1. You're only getting 7-1 for Haaland to score 45 or more. But yeah, goal scorer market, just leave it alone. You can get betting without Haaland now. I think Salah's favourite at 7-1, possibly. Isak's in at 10-1 in the betting without Haaland. The top 4 markets, I was looking at, we've got Chelsea still favourites to take 4th spot. Despite, I think, a pretty average start in 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, down in 11th. 15-8 Chelsea to finish top 4. I'm not sure. Spurs and Newcastle next in at 5-2. Be honest, the top 4 market I think is really hard, and I've said this from the start of the season. Really, the top 3 looks set, and then it's one from the next 4 or 5, and it is hard to nail down who will nick that top 4 spot. Gun to my head, I'd stick Newcastle in at 5-2 at the minute, because I think they're as good as the likes of Spurs and Chelsea and Villa, and we have sort of got plenty of improvement in us from what we've seen so far. I looked at the top half, and one who might be able to sneak in there at a decent price. Top half betting was Brentford, who started the season quite well. Don't look like they're going to miss Ivan Toney, because Mbeumo is going to do the business. Good start from them. 2 wins from 3. The defeat was against Liverpool. They'll take that one. But Brentford 11-4 to finish in the top half. Might be worth a little punt to sneak in there. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. They'll be comfortably in the mid-table, whether they can push on and nick that 10th spot. And I also made a note here of Man United bottom half at 4s. You mentioned it pre-season, Man United bottom half, I think, Malcolm, didn't you? Can you remember what price that was?
No. If you want me to search through the several thousand jotters, that I could, but I'll try and find it before next week, before our next show anyway.
I mean, people are questioning my price of the goal scorer without Haaland, and I probably got it wrong because everyone's saying
he's about. I thought he was about 4-1.
I'm just trying to find it now. I did just pluck that figure out of thin air, so you're probably right. 9-2, so I wasn't too far. But I was right with Isak 10-1, Son, Havertz, Watkins all in at 14-1. So yeah, 9-2 Salah in the betting without Haaland.
I don't know what's wrong with my connection, because I've done the baseball show an hour ago and it was absolutely fine. But I keep getting the little, well, I don't know what the fucking word is, but it's what it's indicating to me is that my connection is shite. So I've turned the dodgy stick off. I've even turned my phone off. But anyway, it's luckily I've got nothing of any interest to say. But I even turned the baseball scores off. I'm going to talk to you probably in fits and starts about Rhythm. If you wanted to create your own sports betting model, Rhythm's the place to do it. SGPN's proud partner, the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform. You can build your own model. You can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, all to get the right analytics and trends for your NFL and college football picks. The ads Colorado being North Dakota under 59.5 last week. Solid cash. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And Game Time, official ticket marketplace of MLB. Loads of good stuff on Game Time. Last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. The lowest price guarantee will refund you 110% of the difference if you can find the tickets cheaper anywhere else. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Middle bit of the table then, Baz. Brighton, we haven't mentioned. I like what they've done. There's more of an element of control. They're still playing out from the back. They're still doing all of those things, but it's just less daft than it was last year. It's less of a circus skill, and there's more of a control. They were good against Arsenal. I thought they were a little bit unlucky to find themselves 1-0 behind. And then obviously the red card changes it a little bit. So Brighton are one to watch. Fulham, West Ham, Palace, Bournemouth. I've got no strong opinions on either way. West Ham and Palace are the two you were expecting better things from. Palace showed up yesterday. West Ham have had quite a tricky start. Wolves have looked a little bit vulnerable, Baz, at both ends of the pitch. Wolves haven't been very good, really, but got an important point at the weekend. Forest have played well. They've got some good players. I'm pleased to see, pleased/good to see Elliot Anderson doing well in their midfield. Him and Gibbs White seem to have a nice little thing going at the weekend. Elliot Anderson assist for a Chris Wood goal. It was a very Newcastle goal at the weekend. Everton, I would need to talk about Everton because my handicap was right on Saturday. They comfortably won 86 minutes of that game 2-0. And I mean comfortably, they battered Bournemouth. We said they'd be good at home, or they had, I had said, we used the back end of the form from last season, all those wins with clean sheets at home, and that's what they did until they didn't. Because, like I say, it was a comfortable win. And I gave that analysis having watched the Tottenham game where I don't think they were shite, and having watched the Brighton game where the first goal was important, and Everton should possibly have got that. I think Everton will be absolutely fine. And Brentford have been decent, which does leave, Barry, the bottom three in the shit slightly. Southampton have been a shambles and will continue to be. They are doing what Burnley done. We're not going to learn anything. We'll just do the same again next week. How many more times are they going to get caught playing out from the back and just do the same thing? Leicester are very, very bang average. They've actually competed at home in the couple of games, but I mean, the big signing last week was Jordan Ayew. Do you know what I mean? Ipswich are the ones with hope. Again, you make the Burnley comparison, actually. So Ipswich have got a little bit of potential, but I don't know if they're going to be able to catch any of these other teams. The pass you're giving to Ipswich is that they've played City and Liverpool, and then they couldn't beat Fulham at home. So that's really it's a bit of a false dawn for Ipswich, because you are giving them you're forgiving them the Liverpool and Man City results. So Southampton finished bottom. Baz stands out at 92. I know it's the Leicester points deduction that we're factoring in, possibly even a Manchester City points deduction, but I think Southampton finished bottom. They've been absolutely shite, Barry. You can't go around with Ben Brereton and Adam Armstrong up front and expect to win Premier League games. It's just not happening. I think Leicester can outgun them. Even if Leicester gets 6 points, I think Leicester could be 6 points better than them. So yeah, Leicester, Southampton at 92, Baz. It's a decent bet.
Yeah, I mean, I had Southampton pre-season for relegation at 11-8. They're now 4-7, so I'm more than happy with that. It does look to be like becoming quite a small pool already in terms of the relegation contenders, doesn't it? With obviously the 3 teams who came up all winless so far. I think we've got 6 teams in total, haven't we, without a win. Palace haven't won, Wolves, and somebody else. Can't remember. Everton, obviously. I mean, I think Southampton have looked very poor. I think they'll go down. I'm happy with me bet on them to be relegated. Leicester won't pick up enough points and will probably have some taken away. So I think you're then almost looking at 1 from 4 maybe fighting it out for that last place. I'm not as confident on Everton as you are. I think you say they might have played well for a large part of that game, but it's the sort of the lack of confidence that sort of, as soon as that goes 2-1, it was almost like you thought, oh, here we go, and they were probably feeling like, oh, here we go, and it just capitulated, didn't it, at that point. I still think Everton are right in it personally. I mean, it's a hard market, isn't it? You've got Ipswich 10-11 to be relegated, Everton 13-8, Wolves 11-4. And I just think I'd want to see a bit more of Ipswich before I decided I wanted to take them on in terms of giving them a chance of staying up. 13-8 Everton isn't a big enough price. I think if you wanted to back up Everton to be relegated, that was pre-season. You need to be on that. The value's gone now at that price. Wolves, I think Wolves could be in and around it. I said it early in the season, but I would probably keep away. I'm happy with me Southampton to be relegated. I like your pick of Southampton to finish bottom, particularly if they keep playing Broughton Diaz, because he still can't win a game in the Premier League. 18 starts, that is now, without a win. So yeah, I haven't got a pick other than I agree with you. Southampton finish bottom looks a good price at 92.
Michael's not too worried about Everton. He thinks they're going to pick up enough wins, which is fair enough. Terrell popped his head in the chat. Terrell, how you doing? Terrell does the NBA show, amongst other things, on the network here. Terrell had I don't know what's the word, the privilege of briefly sharing my bedroom in Las Vegas, which looked like I'd been burgled. It was when Shola Ramiobi was on MTV Cribs, looked like he'd been burgled. And Terrell's a military man whose bedroom was absolutely spotless, and then he had to share with me just for a little bit. So, yeah, big fan of Terrell. Finally, Barry, I have picked a 150-1 shot here, Baz, which I am very confident about. Okay, can I interest you in that?
I'm interested, yeah.
Get your pen out. Liverpool to go unbeaten. Fucking Arne Slot's good, isn't he, Baz? Whoa, we like him. Liverpool to go unbeaten at 150-1. I think there's worse 151 shots, isn't
there? But there'll be worse ones, yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Praise indeed, Barry. And that's me. All my chat done. Have you got anything else to tell us about?
No, nothing. I mean, I'm already on Man City to go unbeaten on this season, as well as Man City to finish bottom of the league. Of course, you will remember.
Yes.
Big prices. So what did I get for City unbeaten? I think it was 25-1. So you're getting a bigger price than me, that's for sure. But no, that was all I had. Steve Gregory's in the chat talking Champions League as well. I never thought we could have done a little bit of a Champions League futures show, so we might pick that up at some point during this international break. It's a good point.
Yeah, I need to work out how the fuck it works first.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's mentioned there he's put up Lautaro for the Golden Boot at 40-1, and mentioned the fact that Inter might play 2 extra games, because the way it works, isn't it? There's tons of teams. Some go through automatically. I think the top 8 go through automatically, and then the next 16 all have a playoff. So Golden Boot, it's a good, good little angle in. He's got there looking at a team that he thinks will finish in that sort of 9th down to 24th, where you get those extra 2 games, which could get you a bit of a boost for your Golden Boot. So yeah, definitely something for us to have a look at, and maybe over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, there's probably some angles in that the new format lends themselves to, and I'll have to do a bit more homework on that. Not something I instinctively know about, Baz, but yeah, we will get stuck into it 100%. Champions League week starting up soon. And I think that's it, Barry. I know we didn't have an awful lot picks-wise, but we're going to do Wednesday night with, what's the word? International picks for... I think it's Nations League and bollocks like that. We'll pretend to be interested in on Wednesday. Apologies for me connection if it was shit, but at least I picked a nothing week for it to be shit on. I wouldn't want you to have missed the frankly, thousands of fancy price winners I gave out last week. So I picked a good week for it. Barry, anything to add before we go?
No, that's it from me.
That's it from Barry. Congratulations on your ring piece holding up. Big well done to you. Back on Wednesday to talk some international football. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.